Hello and happy new moon in Sagittarius. This is our last new moon for the 2025 year. And when I say the 2025 year, I'm referencing the Gregorian calendar. Because if I'm talking about the lunar calendar, we have a couple more new moons. This period of time for me, between this new moon and the astrological new year, which happens in the spring equinox, is the time to constantly rewrite our vision for what we're imagining, right? It's a time where it's cold. Nobody wants to go out. Nobody wants to do anything. This is our time to really plant seeds and really dream and make our visions as big as possible, especially with this new moon in Sagittarius. You want to be dreaming so big. You want to be thinking about all the things that you want to bring in next year, all the things that you want to bring in by, I would say, Gemini season, so end of May to like mid-June, because that's where we're going to have the full moon in Sagittarius. That's where we're going to be able to see all of the seeds that we have planted and what is coming to fruition. So again, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So we want to use this fire as a motivator, as a way to illuminate our dreams and goals. Almost like a torch, like we're traveling, in our dreams, in our vast, brain cavity, and just really looking for the next version of ourselves. I'm not saying this has to be the final version, right? Like we always want to be working on ourselves. We always want to be kind of working towards that next version of us. Also, I absolutely love the colors of this card. It's just so pretty. It's just distracting me. But anyway, we also want to be sharing these goals, right? Sagittarius is a mutable sign, which means that it is all over the place, right? Gemini is its sister sign. We are very similar to Sagittarius, where our thoughts and our dreams are kind of scattered and all over the place. But Sagittarius talks about the higher mind, philosophy, higher education, travel. These are things that Sagittarius looks towards. We also have the bow and arrow, which means that we want to be pulling back and holding that vision, right? We want to be pulling back and shooting to the new version of ourselves, right? And sometimes we have to just shoot before we aim, right? This is the energy that we're allowed to just kind of go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect, like with Capricorn. It doesn't have to be, very structured. We're just kind of going for it. Sagittarius is also, like I said, it's a fire sign, but it's also similar to like campfire energy. So we want to be talking about our goals, talking about where we see ourselves with friends and with people that we trust who are able to hold that vision with us. And if you don't have anybody like that, then it's okay. You need to get in the the kind of Delulu energy and just start telling strangers. Who cares? Like, the strangers are like, okay, great. Like, they told me their goals and whatever. But you need to be saying these things out loud. You need to be speaking these goals out loud for Sagittarius season. So today is Friday. We have Sagittarius new moon today. Then tomorrow we have the winter solstice. So officially it'll be the darkest part of the year. It's that time where the sun is got the shortest amount of time in the sky. But guess what? The next day it starts working its way back to warmer weather, it starts working its way back to being more present in our lives. So we also have this weekend Yule and the sun going into Capricorn, which brings us to Capricorn season. So we actually have a very short period of time where Sagittarius is really asking us to just dream these huge, big, giant goals, because then Capricorn season comes along and it's like, okay, where's the structure for these goals? Glad you've dreamt all these big goals, but now let's make a plan and let's make a structure. And that's where we get kind of this New Year's vibe of like, okay, I'm going to write my resolutions and I have to like plan to actually roll them out, right? So again, this is our last chance to really like have fun and be delulu with our goals before we kind of have to reel it back in and say like, okay, now we need to like, how are we going to reach these goals, right? So that's a little blurb on new moon in Sagittarius. Love the energy. I love what it's all about. And I'm super excited for us as a collective to just have these big giant dreams and share them with our loved ones, and especially over the holidays, right? Like you can say like, oh, I've been thinking about doing this. And then they'll say, okay, well, guess what? It's Capricorn season now. So how are you going to do that? And you can say, oh, well, you know, I made this plan. If you made a plan, if you didn't, right? I'm a mutable sign. Like sometimes we just got to do things the way we do things. So I also drew some cards for Sagittarius season. And first up, we have Three of Wands, which is exactly what I was just talking about with you have these steps that you have to take, right? You have, wands are a fire sign as well. Like they're about, they're fire. So this is taking the steps towards our end goal. We have this end goal. We're able to see this end goal, right? But what are these steps that we need to take to get to that? Always having that big goal in mind, or, you know, accomplishing one micro goal at a time. So that way you're still feeling like you're doing something. I wouldn't suggest keep moving the goalpost and moving the goalpost for yourself. Like you're never going to feel accomplished if you keep doing that. So one micro goal at a time towards the bigger goal. We also have Five of Swords. And Five of Swords, especially during this time of year, we have busy, busy thoughts. We have different things kind of calling our attention. But with a Five of Swords, I'm really seeing this as all the ideas and all the versions of ourselves that we have potential to be for this next kind of go around, right? These are all the things, okay, well, I want to do this, or I want to do that, or I want to be this. You can have many, many different goals, and that's okay, but don't let it swamp your mind, right? You want to still be a little more organized with it. And again, setting those like micro goals towards these different ideas. Next, we have the Six of Cups in reverse. And this is all about our emotions, right? When things like this happen, when we're creating our goals, things can get emotional, right? Well, what's the point of doing that goal? I didn't complete it last time. This is where we need to be more gentle with ourselves, especially of letting go of those old versions of ourselves and saying, you know, I'm going to stop hoping to be, you know, this past version of myself, or I wish things could have gone a different way. Like, no, we need to acknowledge these feelings, right? Acknowledge that these things are coming up for us, but then be able to move on from them and say, thank you so much for, you know, protecting this past version of myself, but I'm ready to move on. We're good going into this new version of ourselves, and it's going to be great. So I also drew a couple animal cards. And first, I'm going to say we have the whale. And I mean, look at this whale. It's so free. It's so flexible. It's just ready to go. But whales also breathe air, right? Like they can spend a ton of time down in the depths, but they also have to come up for air eventually. So what I would recommend is going into the depths, also using music, right? Like whales use sound, sonar to communicate, but they also have these things called whale songs, and I really feel like using music in tandem with kind of freeing the spirit and freeing the next version of yourself, finding her or them, is gonna be huge. So again, go to those depths, go into the darkness, find that next version of yourself, dream them up, and bring them back to the surface, because you have to get air. Lastly, I have fish. And this is all about finding your community, being safe in community, especially during this time of year, y'all. It is dark. It is gross. It is cold. It is, not a time where we're truly at our best, happiest selves. And if you are, great. Props to you. I love that for you. But for the collective, it's a very difficult time of year. And we need to be out with our communities, because you are not safe when you are alone, right? Like when you're just this little fish in the ocean, there's lots of things that can get you, and you need to find your community, and you need to stick with your community. That community can shift and change, of course, right? If you can grow out of your communities, you can grow out of, certain relationships with people, but you need to find your community and at least be trying out different communities. So I hope that this gave you some insight to the new moon in Sagittarius. And like I said, dream big, y'all. This is the time to just dream big. Happy new moon. I will see you guys soon.